My name is Kate Casas. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a partner with the Gateway Group, which is a government relations firm. This is my first visit to China. I mean, a lot of what we hear in the United States about China is how big the cities are, how very nice the people are. And the culture is different. I was not prepared for the traffic in Beijing, but certainly have found what most Americans believe about the Chinese being very gracious people, very welcoming people, proud of their country and their city and their history to be true, and very glad about that. I found Chinese people to be very open and honest and sharing their experiences and their concerns and what they're hopeful about and all of those things. So my big interest while I'm here is to look at the Chinese education system. I'm very interested in how how China delivers education to the number of students that are in the country, spread out across very different places, very different topography, very different cultures, very different provinces, but also delivers high-quality education. The Chinese education system is known around the world as one of the best systems. And so it's very interesting to me how the Chinese government and Chinese schools are working to educate kids to solve both China's and the world's problems in the future. I want to know how I can learn from that and take some of it back to the United States and hopefully form long-time partnerships where we can learn from one another so that for the benefit of our children and Chinese children. I had a fabulous time. I saw many different cities. I started in Beijing, where I saw you last, and then went to Guiyang for a few days, and then Nanjing, and then Suzhou, and now Shanghai. I went to the foreign language school, Nanjing, which is apparently quite famous here in China, and I got to meet two students who had spent some time studying at St. Louis University High School, which is in my hometown. I think that Chinese students are incredibly hard workers. I think that there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Chinese students to perform very well. I think that the Chinese education system is undergoing some big changes as the economy is moving from manufacturing to service. And so I think that the next 10 years of the education system are going to be really important to see how the central government works with schools and families to make some changes to the system. And I see that happening. I heard a lot of the government officials talking about it and putting some plans in place. And the schools sort of knew it was coming, but it's not there yet. So I'm very excited. I'm excited about the future of Chinese education. By the time we got to Nanjing, I hadn't been outside for quite some time. And there's a beautiful, beautiful lake across the street from our hotel. And I will always remember I went for a very long walk around Nanjing, and it was wonderful. And the people I met were very friendly, and the scenery was very beautiful. And it was, very relaxing. I saw several temples on my walk. I saw some of the buildings where Confucius studied. So it was very lovely. It was great because the weather was nice. And the city is beautiful, and the people are friendly, and there's so much history from Nanjing having been the capital. So that was probably my favorite day. Chinese people were incredibly gracious. I love China. It's a beautiful country with so much history and so much to learn. I actually feel like I might, even after a month here, that I have more questions than answers because there's so much history here and so much to see and for so many people. But it's good. It's good. I learned a lot, but also have much more to learn.
大家好，我是格格。想要每天收到这样的精彩视频吗？微信搜索格格554，并关注格格爆料，每天为你播放独家劲爆视频，让你一次看个够。赶快搜索微信号 格格554，逗你开心，逗你乐，尽在格格爆料，赶快来关注吧，么么哒。